What up, y'all? This is Sammy Clapping with Word from the Woods. Happy New Year's. Today I'm giving you my Big 12 conference preview for basketball. I think the Big 12 is probably the best conference in the country. I'm biased. I'm an Oklahoma fan, but it's either 1A and 1B with them in the Big 10 or them in the ACC, either or. There's some really good college basketball this year, a lot of parity, but I still feel the Big 12 has probably the best conference. I really think we're the most fun conference to watch. We got a lot of teams out there playing tough defense, getting up and down the court, playing fast break basketball. Conference season starts tomorrow. All 10 teams are going to be in action tomorrow on Saturday, January 2nd. It starts off with West Virginia going to Kansas State at 11 in the morning. Texas goes to Tech. TCU plays at Oklahoma State. And then we got a matchup of what I think are the four best teams in the conference right off the bat. We got Baylor going to Kansas, and we got Iowa State coming to Oklahoma. And followed by Monday, we got the first big Monday event of the year is Oklahoma at Kansas. That could be possibly the first 1 versus 2 game of the season, hopefully. Right now, I'm just going to go through basically what the teams have done in their non-conference schedule and how I think they're shaping up so far. Start with Oklahoma State. They're at 8-4. They've had 4 real close losses. They're kind of a middle of the road team. I'm not a big fan of Travis Ford at all, but they're one of those teams that will determine the depth, just how much depth there is in the Big 12 this year. If they play well and they start and they make a little run, then that'll just give our conference that much more depth. But I need to see some more from them. I haven't been really impressed with them. That's not to say they're not any good. I just haven't. Every close game they've had, they've ended up losing, and their 8 wins aren't really against quality opponents. Texas is 8-4. They got a good win against North Carolina. That is exactly how Shaka Smart wants to play. How they beat North Carolina, just scrappy, playing tough defense, getting up and down the break. But they're not where they need to be. I'm a real big fan of Shaka Smart, but as of right now, he just doesn't have the players for his type of system. But they have Ridley, who's a big man. They got Isaiah Taylor. But that's really just not his type of personnel. Isaiah Taylor's a perfect point guard, but Ridley not so much for the kind of style he wants to play. But Texas is going to be a lot better come March than they are right now. Texas is going to be a scary team. I think they'll be a tournament team. Moving on, Tech and TCU, they're probably going to be the cellar dwellers. They've improved, but they're not where they need to be at. They don't really have any quality games, any quality wins right now. They'll probably finish 9-10, at least from my viewpoint. Kansas is 11-1. They won the Maui Invitational. They beat some good teams out there. They beat a very underrated Vanderbilt team. They really beat them soundly. It was a close game, but they beat them pretty good. Like, they dominated the game. Their only loss was to Michigan State in the Champions Classic. They didn't play very well that game at all. Michigan State really dominated. Denzel Valentine went to work on Perry Ellis, which was surprising to me. I really think Perry Ellis is a good player. They didn't have Chuck Diallo in that game, but he's not really been that big of a factor yet, but he'll only continue to improve. He kind of reminds me of Embiid, his year he had here. Baylor's 10-2, but they're only 2 games against quality opponents. They got beat, which was Oregon and Texas A&M. I think they're a really good team. Scott Drew always has them boys ready to play. They're always a real good team, but they need to prove something. They always have real good seasons, and they don't really do nothing. They had that one year where they went to the Elite Eight, and that's been about it. But I expect them to be a solid team. Kansas State is another one of those teams like Oklahoma State. They almost beat North Carolina, but, I mean, they still got beat. If they play well, then the Big 12 will be the best conference in the country because there should be 7 tourney teams if Kansas State and Oklahoma State both play well. Iowa State, really, I think they have the best resume so far out of anybody. They've beaten Cincinnati. They beat Iowa, Virginia Tech, Illinois. They lost by 2 to Northern Iowa, and that was a really good basketball game. But Iowa State is going to be good. They're led by Georges Niang, Monte Morris. They got a good squad. West Virginia, their only loss was to Virginia, and they was winning that game. They was dominating in the first half, and they just let the wheels fall off and ended up getting blown out. But I think West Virginia is a really good team. I think they're probably in that 5th to 4th spot with Baylor. I think they can really be good. They know how to play defense. They play that 40 minutes of hell. They get up and down. They force turnovers, and they get rebounds. They play very well. Oklahoma's the only undefeated team left. They're at 11-0. They won the Diamond Head Classic. They beat Villanova. They beat Memphis at the start of the year. Not a bunch of quality so far, but I've been impressed with what Oklahoma's done. They haven't lost a game, and obviously I'm biased, but I've really been impressed with what they've done this season. Now just going into talking points. My predictions is right now Kansas has won 11 straight Big 12 championships, so they're the champs until they ain't the champs no more. So I have them as my favorite, with Oklahoma at 2, Iowa State at 3. But you can really just mix match any 3 of them teams and have them. I think they're all pretty even. Followed by Baylor. Baylor can make a run. Rico Gathers is a monster. And my 3 best players this season are Perry Ellis from Kansas, Buddy Hield from Oklahoma, and Georges Niang from Iowa State, which is not surprising. That's why they're on the 3 best teams. Which brings me to another point. The Big 12 this season, there's not really a Wiggins, Beasley, or Durant. It's more senior-laden, veteran type of teams, which will be good hopefully come tournament time, because a lot of these teams have been there and done that several times so far. So, like, all the best players, even Rico Gathers to that extent from Baylor. He's one of my other top players. Like, he's really good. I think that veteran leadership is going to mold well for them come March. All the top players all seem to be juniors and seniors. My other thing is Shaka Smart. Like I said earlier, have Texas into a contender here in a few years. He doesn't really have the players he needs right now, but he'll have them playing really well in March, and I think they can make some noise, beat some teams, maybe, make the tournament, win a couple games. I'm really high on Shaka Smart. West Virginia, talking about earlier, I love the way they play basketball. I love the full court pressing the whole game, the getting in people's face. It's like you're playing against 8 guys out there, just how far they jump around, move. And it's really frustrating for a team that's not used to playing against that style. When you go from playing up and down, then you just got constantly 2 guys trapping all game long. That really makes for a hard night out. I think West Virginia is a really good team as well. They're that 5th to 4th team, and they may make some noise. They'll probably upset a team like Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa State, maybe upset all 3. West Virginia can make a run. They're missing Jawan State, and we're going to need to see who makes that push to take over Jawan Staten's spot because he graduated. But other than that, so far that's my Big 12 conference preview. I'm really excited about the games tomorrow. I'm really excited about the game on Monday. I'll be there. It's at Lawrence at Fog Island. I'll be getting yelled at, cussed at, but it'll all be in fun. But anyways, that's all for now. Good luck to all y'all's teams on the season. I know I got some Oklahoma State fans that watch. It's always better when Big 12 basketball when Oklahoma State's good. So no offense to me not thinking Travis Ford's not any good. But that's all for now. This is Word from the Woods. Sammy Clappin. Happy New Year's. I'm out.